Carey.
Thank you, Chairman, members of the Commission. Your first item is to conduct your first citizens participation period.
This is the first time set aside for public comment. Anyone wishing to provide public comment with regards to any matters on today's agenda, please step forward to the microphone, identify the item on which you're speaking, state your name, and please limit your comments to 3 minutes. We have a gentleman coming up who is not just a driver.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairman Jones. Commissioners, MJ and staff, I wanted to come up to speak about, I know MJ does a great job.
Sir, we all know your name, but you still have to say it for the record.
Sorry. I'm just put down just a driver, Dennis Hennessy. MJ's report that now comes at the very front part of your meeting, talking about all kinds of things that I think are very, very important. There's a couple of things I would request that be added. First off, let's make sure that the numbers that we're putting up there are accurate. I know a couple months ago we had a dispute over, not a dispute, but a difference in number of driver assaults that you were reporting and that Noah came up and talked about. One thing that I would like to see is that every month you give a status of BOC responses to buses, and not the hogwash when somebody comes up and says we're at 3 minutes. I don't want an overall. I'd like it broken down by day parts. Midnight to 7, then the day shift, and then the swing shift. Let's find out where BOC is really having a problem, because we're having a problem with BOC. Let's be honest. The other thing that I'd like, I was going through the RFP stuff, found that in Nevada law, Section 239 talks about everything that should be public records. Liquidated damages should be public record. I think it's important that you guys up there are transparent to the public in the job that the contractors that you're paying for are acceptable or unacceptable. When you're paying $1 million a month in liquidated damages, I think the public needs to know that. So I'd like that to be added. If you're going to be reviewing April's or January's numbers, I think the public would like to know what were the liquidated damages assessed to, at this point, TransDev. You know, I think it's important that the public knows. I know we're going into a huge budget crisis for 2028. MJ and her staff are busting tail to let the public know where we're at. They're in the newspaper. They haven't been on TV yet that I've seen, but in both newspapers talking about the need, pleading to the casino operators on the strip, the casino operators off the strip. But you know where we really need to be pleading? We need to be pleading to the pastors that are riding the buses every day saying, hey, 15 of your routes are going to be gone. 24-hour routes are going to be gone. How about going out to the people on Eastern and Charleston that are missing buses because this company can't seem to get a handle and buses are going up and down the street, not in service? Be transparent, guys. It doesn't matter to them. They're going to be here no matter what. You're going to be responsible to your constituents because they're not going to vote for you, Ms. Berkeley. They're not going to vote for you when they see exactly how untransparent you've been about the poor service. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hennessy. Anyone else would provide public comment? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and close the first public comment period. I'll turn it back over to Ms. Maynard Carey.
Thank you, Chairman. The next item is to approve your agenda. It is in order, ready for your approval.
I'll entertain a motion. There's a motion to approve the agenda. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. 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 Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. The next item is to receive the CEO report, and we are going to start with some good news. As you know, we as an agency go after every single grant opportunity. I can't say enough about our finance team and the small but mighty 2-person grant team. So we're excited to share that the Federal Transit Administration recently awarded RTC with an $8.8 million bus and bus facilities grant. This funding will support the purchase of 8 40-foot replacement buses for our transit fleet, video mirrors on transit vehicles, and safety and security upgrades at our transit yards. The funded projects are grounded in RTC's regional planning documents that emphasize system infrastructure upgrades, including fleet modernization, security, and accessibility. And again, many thanks to the grants team for all of their efforts. We're also excited, for those of you that are new to the board, or those of you who remember 10 years ago, we introduced the Mobility Training Center. It's one of the most unique facilities in the United States. And so we're excited to celebrate, again, the 10-year anniversary. For the past decade, the Mobility Training Center has empowered thousands of seniors, students, and people with disabilities across Southern Nevada by helping them build the skills and confidence needed to travel independently. And so I could tell you all the reasons I really love this facility and what it's done for our community. This video will speak to our community partners that find so much value in it.
For the past 10 years, the RTC Mobility Training Center has been helping seniors and individuals with disabilities build the skills and confidence to travel independently. Here, mobility is more than transportation. It's about independence, choice, and access to everyday life. Today, as we celebrate 10 years of the Mobility Center, we want to share what that journey has meant to the people we serve.
Hi, I'm Jean Payton from Blind Connect, and I am so excited to be part of the celebration of the 10th anniversary of the MTC. Throughout the years, we've sent many blind and low vision people through a course of training to make them independent, and has been successful because of this location. We're very grateful.
RTC Southwest Mobility Training Center celebrates 10 years, and we are glad to be part of that partnership with Michael's Angel Paws. It allows us to prepare our service dog teams for a lifetime of bonding with the person they help the most.
Hi, my name is Jeannie Clayton. I'm a project search instructor with the Clark County School District. Part of my job is making sure that my students who have disabilities feel comfortable riding public transportation out in the community. Coming to the RTC Mobility Training Center has been a game changer. They learn how to navigate safely, how to problem solve, and really gain that independence that they'll need to be successful when looking for gainful employment. We appreciate you.
For 10 years, the RTC Mobility Training Center has helped open doors to independence, confidence, and opportunity. And as we look ahead, our commitment remains the same, empowering our community with the skills and choices needed to move forward. Here's to 10 years of mobility and many more to come.
It's a great, again, anyone who wants a tour, we'd love to show it off. Okay, next we are going to move on to probably the best part when we get to recognize great employees. And so we certainly want to recognize these three gentlemen. They are intercom security officers. It's Jeremy Jeffrey, Jesse Jensen, and Diego Hernandez. Tom Atterbury is going to tell us a little bit about why we call them heroes.
Thank you, MJ. It is an honor to recognize the professionalism, teamwork, and quick response demonstrated by intercom officers during a medical emergency. During a routine restroom check, Officer Jesse Jensen identified an individual in medical distress. After receiving no response, Officer Jensen immediately called for additional support. Lieutenant Jeffrey arrived shortly after, gained access to the restroom stall, and found the individual unconscious. Lieutenant Jeffrey quickly assumed command, coordinated life-saving efforts, requested additional medical equipment, and maintained a calm and controlled environment. Operations Manager Diego Hernandez also responded promptly, immediately assisting with medical care and providing continuous support until emergency responders arrived. Together, their decisive actions ensured the individual received immediate, continuous care until paramedics arrived on scene. Because of their quick response, clear communication, and teamwork, the individual was stabilized and transported for further medical treatment. We are proud to recognize the officers for their dedication and exemplary service. Now, let's go surprise them with the Crystal Bus Award.
We got a special presentation we want to give to some of the officers for life-saving measure they did. Manager on duty Hernandez, step up here. Officer Jeffrey and Officer Jensen. You know, guys, this is a really great award. Anytime you're able to save somebody's life, it means so much to the community regarding safety and security and the RTC and you guys out there on the street every day. It's very important for what you did. There's nothing more important than keeping the community safe and secure, but by saving somebody's life, I mean, you guys just went above and beyond. So on behalf of the RTC Board of Commissioners and our CEO at RTC, MJ Maynard Carey, I'll represent all three of you guys with the Crystal Bus Award. So congratulations, great job, guys. It's a pretty good job here.
I want to thank RTC, Safety Security, Tom, Judy. They definitely helped with leadership a lot. They guide us in the right direction. It's really an honor to work for Air Con and work with RTC and these officers.
Let's have you guys stand up over here. Give them a round of applause. Congratulations.
We're going to call you back here in just a minute, okay? Because we have one more amazing individual to recognize. And her name is Katrina Bolden, and Antoinette Braddock is going to present her with the Crystal Bus.
Thank you, MJ. It is an honor to recognize trans-deaf paratransit operator Katrina Bolden for her compassion, generosity, and commitment to the customers she serves each day. During the holiday season, Katrina met a senior passenger who shared that she was going through a difficult time. The customer explained that she was facing health challenges and was struggling to meet her daily needs. Around that same time, Katrina received a food voucher from TransDev. Remembering the customer's situation, Katrina chose to give the voucher to her, believing she needed it more. After the holidays, Katrina saw the passenger again. The customer warmly thanked her and shared that because of Katrina's kindness, she was able to purchase a holiday meal, a gesture that truly made her day. Through this simple but meaningful act, Katrina demonstrated compassion, empathy, and a true commitment to serving our community. Her actions reflect the highest standard of service and represent the values we strive to uphold every day. We are proud to recognize Katrina for her kindness and dedication. Now, let's go surprise her. Come on. Hi, Katrina.
Hi.
I'm Antoinette Braddock.
Hi.
I am from the RTC. I'm the Senior Director of Paratransit.
Hi.
And on behalf of our CEO, MJ Maynard Carey, and our board, we would like to present you with the RTC Crystal Bus Award.
Oh my God.
We hear that you are so incredible with our customers. And we know that on paratransit, we serve the most vulnerable customers in our community. But specifically, we heard about a situation where you gave a gift card to one of your customers that you received for the holidays. And so we wanted to thank you, but more than our thanks, our customers thank you. And I know certainly the customer that you helped that day thanks you so much.
Yes.
So congratulations.
Thank you.
I really appreciate this opportunity and thank you very much. I appreciate thank everyone has dropped me and all the other new drivers. Thank you.
Trina, where are you at? Stand up so we can recognize you.
Okay, all you amazing people, we just recognized, come on down, have a picture take with our Board of Commissioners. Thank you, amazing people. Appreciate you. Okay, all right, so let's move on to the next item. The next item is your monthly transit ridership update. This will be given by Teresa Gazer, Deputy CEO.
Thank you, MJ, and good morning, board members. Teresa Gazer, Deputy CEO for the record. I'd like to provide the monthly update on transit ridership and operations. This month, we will be reporting on January 2026. As a reminder, we report data 2 months behind due to the data validation process. During the month of January, On Demand saw a 4% increase in ridership. The Deuce on the Strip recognized a 6% increase, and residential ridership services decreased by 3% from this time last year. During January of 2026, there were several impacts to daily service delivery that correlate to the decrease in ridership, roughly 116,000 trips. Aside from the several major construction projects such as Maryland Parkway that impacted service, we also hosted several major events, including CES that month. For routes with ridership increases, in total, 21 routes recognized ridership increases. These shown here are with over 5% increases, with a 9% ridership increase on Route 20, on 220, the Ann Tropical route. The increase on all of these routes displayed can be directly attributed to the changes in construction that impact those routes. The missed service in January of 2026 was higher than we had seen in several months. This reflects service delivery impacts during the previously mentioned major events, including CES. Additionally, to improve communications and address service interruptions, the contractor is implementing improvements to the bus operations center processes. During the month of January, our fleet vehicle requirements are in alignment with the number of vehicles available in the fleet. Vehicle availability is a careful balance between decommissioning vehicles at the end of their life cycle, commissioning of new vehicles as they are received, and accommodating service requests for events such as CES, which occurred in the January timeframe. Next, Senior Director of Safety and Security, Tom Atterbury, will provide you with an update on incidents from January 2025 through January 2026.
Thank you, Teresa. Good morning, Chairman Jones, council members, and city mayors. Tom Atterbury, Senior Director, RTC, Safety and Security Operations. I also will give January comparisons between 25 and 26. So, Michelle, we'll go ahead and start with removals. We had an increase by 34.6% in removals. In January of 2025, we had 15,159 removals, and in January of 2026, we had 20,414. Right now for the fiscal year, we're about 8.5 months into the fiscal year. We're at 144,000 removals. If we continue that trend, we'll surpass 200,000 removals. And I just want to take a minute to thank Commissioner Segerblum for his staunch support for SB 290. It's made a big difference for our officers on the street to get the bad actors off the bus, to protect the riders and the drivers. It's made a really big difference. So, Commissioner Segerblum, thank you again for your help on that and your support. Next slide, Michelle. Trespasses, again, comparing January of 25 to January 26. In January of 25, we had 97 trespasses. We're up by 6. January of 26, we've got 103. Again, SB 290 has helped with that, contract compliance, and moving route deployments around with armed officers. Next slide, Michelle. Passenger on passenger and passenger on operator. Passenger on driver assaults had a slight increase. We had 2 in January of 2025. And in this past January of 2026, we had 3, so we had an increase by 1. Passenger on passenger assaults, we also had a slight increase. We had 15 in January of 2025 compared to 22 in January of 2026, so we had 7 more. Right now for the year, again, 8.5 months in, we have 15 passenger on operator assaults. Of those 15, 2 are spitting. At the last board meeting last month in February, we had 2 operators come up and comment on some problems on the routes with some unruly kids in the school district. We immediately that day, that Thursday of the board meeting, we went back to the office, we addressed that, we redeployed officers, saturated those routes. One is the Mountain View, Sunrise Mountain High School, the other one is Valley View High School at Eastern and Karen and Eastern and DI. Myself and 2 of the members of the group also went out and did surveillance, engaged with the bus drivers, and we also have a very good rapport and connection with CCSD PD. So we're addressing that aggressively, and we haven't had any problems since. Questions?
Questions from the board? Seeing none.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Tom. Appreciate that. Teresa Gazer, our WCO, is going to go ahead and address the comments that you heard during last month's board meeting. Teresa.
Thank you, MJ. Teresa Gazer for the record. During the last meeting, we heard concerns about the response time by the BOC. Thank you, Councilman Knudsen, for sharing some of your insights. The contractor is implementing new technology at the Bus Operations Center, as well as reinforcing the communication processes. Over the last 3 months, the priority request to talk response averaged 1 minute and 14 seconds at the bus operations. A number of operators expressed concern regarding Transdev's use of the Lytx safety system. For clarity, this system is fully licensed, managed, and implemented by Transdev and used exclusively to support safe vehicle operation and driver coaching. Across the transit industry, this system has contributed to collision prevention and overall safety improvements. The system is not designed to track personal behavior, medical indicators, or information unrelated to safe driving. It does not capture or store or transmit biometric identifiers, and data is not shared externally except when required by law enforcement following an incident. Transdev and the ATU met with these employees to explain the system. A comment was shared regarding the non-functional bus stop lighting, including at Lamont and Cheyenne. Site visits informed us that the locations were dark and are currently being replaced or repaired. Related, during our site investigation, the streetlights were observed to be out as well in that vicinity, and the RTC has submitted a request to the Clark County Public Works Department for repairs of that streetlights. A customer shared their challenges with routes 206, which is the Charleston route, 119 Simmons Koval, and 214 D&H streets, which are 3 of the 7 routes experiencing major construction resulting in stop closures and delay. RTC staff met with this individual to obtain more details and provide them with a future RTC point of contact. Additionally, based on feedback, RTC transit staff is working on updating the agency's layover policy and communication and signage for detours to improve this process for our riders. Transdev's training team will reinforce the expectations to make general announcements during layovers. A comment was received regarding the distribution of the fleet between our IBMF and SMF yards. While the distribution of buses changes daily to meet demands, RTC's fleet team is working with Transdev Maintenance to implement a rebalancing of the buses across these 2 yards. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Kazer. Ms. Mayor Carey.
Okay.
Any comments or questions from the board? Seeing none.
All right, great. So we have our next item is a presentation from Andrew Kelman. He is our WCO on the Reimagine Boulder Highway project.
Thank you, MJ. Andrew Kelman for the record. This morning, I'm going to provide an overview of the Reimagine Boulder Highway Phase 2 project, which kicked off less than a year ago. This update is not intended to focus on the section of Boulder Highway currently under construction in Henderson. Rather, this is about the planning work in the northern half of the corridor. For this project, this picture really helps illustrate the need to reimagine the corridor. Originally, the roadway served its purpose well by providing a high-speed connection between the Boulder City and Henderson areas with downtown Las Vegas. But with the later construction of US 95, now called I-11, the need for Boulder Highway to carry large volumes of traffic diminished. This, combined with increased land use development along the corridor, created conditions where walking, bicycling, waiting for the bus, and crossing the street are not as safe as they could be. When we look at the current travel conditions on the corridor, its transit ridership is the 4th highest in the entire system, and most car trips are under 2 miles in length. This shows that the road is no longer serving its original purpose and now functions more as a roadway for the surrounding community. Finally, Boulder Highway has the ominous distinction of being the most unsafe roadway for people walking, with approximately 10% of pedestrian fatalities in the entire state occurring just on this one roadway. These factors led the RTC and regional partners to develop the Reimagined Boulder Highway Corridor Study in 2020. This plan completed the analysis, stakeholder coordination, and community outreach to develop the preferred conceptual design that you see here. It included wider sidewalks, dedicated bike lanes, center running transit lanes, more trees, and safer places to cross the street. When we presented this concept to the public, we received overwhelming support. From nearly 2,000 surveys collected, 79% of respondents supported the overall concept, with the highest support for more lighting and wider sidewalks. Public outreach used a mix of in-person and virtual methods, and at the time, it was covered heavily by the media to encourage people to take the survey. With this public input and the transportation safety need so high on the corridor, it was the call to action needed to move forward with actual implementation and construction. This map shows Boulder Highway and the distinction between the Henderson project in the south in gold that is currently under construction and this project in the north in green. Overall, the corridor is about 15 miles long, with the project split in the middle. The northern half of the roadway is owned and maintained by NDOT. It should be noted that at this time, the RTC does not have construction funding for the northern half of the corridor. The RTC is only conducting planning, engineering, and environmental clearance work. This work is being funded entirely by outside grants, the first being a $2 million federal grant from the Build America Bureau and matching funds from NDOT for $2.3 million. And I'd like to thank Chairman Jones for first connecting the RTC with the Bureau and to NDOT for their continued partnership on this corridor. Henderson has made significant progress implementing the original vision of the Reimagined Boulder Highway concept, which provides a good example of what we're working towards for the entire corridor. These photos show the current construction of the center running transit lanes, which use red-colored concrete at intersections to increase driver awareness. They also show the first mock-up of one of the 34 new transit shelters planned for the corridor just in the Henderson section. These shelters will provide more shade, seating, security cameras, and protection from traffic. The RTC is funding shelter construction and providing input on their design. Now here is a current photo of the corridor in Henderson. And then we can see a rendering of what the completed project will look like. The RTC and Henderson are also partnering on a transit-oriented development grant the RTC received. This effort is focused on increasing economic development and housing along the corridor, which will support future increases in transit ridership. This also highlights one of the key roles of a metropolitan planning organization. MPOs help plan for the long term and bring in federal funding to help turn visions into reality. The Boulder Highway Project is a good example of this. The RTC secured the TOD planning grant, helped Henderson obtain a $40 million federal infra grant, programmed additional federal funds to the project, and it also uses fuel revenue indexing dollars. So while long-term sustainable transit funding is a challenge, coordinated regional planning through the MPO can help secure federal grants and build a pipeline of projects for future funding opportunities. And building on the roadway design already underway in Henderson, this shows the initial concept for the northern half of the corridor. The top rendering shows a typical mid-block section. You can see wider sidewalks, protected bike lanes, center running transit, and additional landscaping and trees. The bottom rendering shows a typical intersection location where the transit shelters would be located. Another key feature not shown here is increased lighting throughout the corridor. The entire design concept is oriented around increased safety, but it should also be noted that it's still very early in the design process and much more work needs to be done to advance this concept and ensure all stakeholders agree on long-term maintenance and funding responsibilities. And finally, I just want to highlight what this current work on the northern part of the corridor will accomplish. The top row illustrates activities that the RTC will undertake. We will engage with the community that lives and works along the corridor, coordinate with key stakeholders, continue to advance the roadway design, and ensure that we are meeting the safety goals of the project while also increasing transit ridership and managing traffic. The bottom row is what will be accomplished at the end of the study. We will have a project that has received environmental approval, completed preliminary engineering, and importantly, we will conduct a funding analysis and begin early coordination with the Federal Transit Administration. The intent is to follow the model laid out by Maryland Parkway of receiving small starts grant funding through the FTA. However, to secure federal funding, matching funds will need to be identified, and this will be a key focus moving forward. So we will continue developing the project cost estimate and initiate coordination with NDOT and local agencies to better understand when funding may be available to enable the pursuit of future federal funding opportunities. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Andrew. Comments or questions from the board?
Just a couple quick questions. Is the traffic volume, is it more on the north end than the south end?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, through you. Yes, that is correct, Councilman.
Okay, and then in one of your video or slides, it showed there was like 2 lanes, and then it showed there was 3 lanes on it. Do you know at this point which it's going to be?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, so we're still doing the traffic analysis. That's not yet complete, but it is looking like 3 lanes will be maintained in the northern part. And it is really due to that interstate connection and more heavy traffic volume.
Thank you.
Commissioner?
So you feel the right-of-way is large enough that we can have the bus lanes in the middle? I know there's been a pushback on from my staff.
Yeah, Commissioner, in locations, the right-of-way is about 200 feet wide. And so, yes, we can fit everything within the right-of-way footprint that we already have.
Okay, well, go out and get that grant. All we need is $500 million.
Councilman?
Yeah, thank you very much. I recall, unfortunately, it wasn't all that long ago when I was driving to pick up my grandkids there who go to school in Whitney area, and there was a fatality there pretty close to the Walmart there on the north, I guess the mid end. And so I'm happy to see that, of course, the chain link fence have been installed, keeping people from running across. Will there eventually also be an upgrade? I mean, the chain link fences are pretty effective, but they're pretty unsightly, right? And it'd be always good to have, a mix of aesthetics to go along with safety measures. Will that ever be addressed, by the way? And by the way, and chain link fences, they're not so difficult to defeat. Also, there's on East Charleston, there's been a much better barrier system that I think I have not seen defeated, unless of course a car goes through it. But maybe you could speak a little bit to that.
Yeah, sure, Mr. Chairman, through you. Yeah, fencing is one of the things we are considering as part of this early design concept. We are coordinating with Clark County and Metro to understand where this initial fencing is being located. And then for the future ultimate design concept, we're looking at where it may be appropriate around the station areas to encourage people to cross the street at the intersections, which will be well lit. And we're also looking at where pedestrian volumes are, where unhoused people may be located, to ensure if fencing is located there in the future, it's effective.
Okay, thank you so much.
Very good. Thank you very much for the presentation. Oh, sorry, Mayor Harder.
So I get comments on the south end of Boulder Highway. Do we have provisions for the ridership involved with State College, how they get from the end to the college itself? Has that been looked at?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman. Mayor, it is one of the things that we're working on is providing that connection to Nevada State University. It's definitely a really good population to serve of college students. And yeah, they would be attracted to this future bus rapid transit route on the corridor.
Does that mean they'd be able to be dropped off and they walk, or be able to drop off and get on another transit thing to get to the half mile to the college?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, through you. So
No need to go through me.
yeah,
just
there,
for-
Mayor. So the initial concept is for the Boulder Highway route to stay on the bus rapid transit lanes, but we are cognizant of the fact of first last mile connections to that growing campus.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Very good. Thank you very much. It's an exciting project. Back to you.
Great, thanks, Chairman. The next item is a presentation from Deputy CEO Teresa Gazer. This is the state of the traffic system. Teresa.
Thank you, MJ. Teresa Gazer for the record. Today I'll be presenting our state of the Southern Nevada traffic system. This morning I'll cover key highlights from the past year, our ongoing efforts to improve traffic safety, and activities underway to modernize the region's traffic signal system. Let's begin with a few highlights from this year. FAST manages traffic incidents and day-to-day operations on freeways and local roadways across Southern Nevada, working closely with our local jurisdiction partners and on behalf of Nevada Department of Transportation. Each year, we keep traffic moving for more than 2 million residents and over 40 million visitors. While the local cities own the physical infrastructure, FAST operates and manages this technology that allows for seamless regional traffic coordination. From the Traffic Management Center, this system allows FAST to detect and respond to traffic incidents, support special events, and coordinate traffic signals across jurisdictions. Today, this system includes 1,734 traffic signals, 1,317 traffic cameras, 76 ramp meters, 837 miles of fiber optic communication cables, 173 dynamic message and active traffic management signs along the freeways, and 8 wrong-way driver warning systems. This network continues to expand as the valley continues to grow. FAST also plays a critical role in managing traffic for regional events, including Allegiant Stadium, now the top grossing stadium in the US. Just in 2025, the 3rd Formula One Las Vegas Grand Prix, events in Henderson's Water Street District, the globally iconic Sphere, Las Vegas Convention Centers, T-Mobile Arena, UNLV's Thomas and Mack Center, including National Finals Rodeo, and Aviation Nation out at Nellis Air Force Base, just to name a few of the key highlights. In 2025, FAST tracked more than 1,700 regional events. We actively supported 225, totaling more than 1,500 staff hours. This work depends on strong regional partnerships and coordination meetings every 2 weeks, including state and local agencies, law enforcement, emergency responders, resorts, venues, event promoters, and traffic control companies. In 2025, Clark County experienced 239 traffic fatalities, down from 293 in 2024. While this represents a 19% decrease, every loss of life is one too many. Traffic safety remains a top priority for FAST and the RTC. From the Southern Nevada Traffic Management Center, FAST supported more than 18,000 traffic incidents, averaging nearly 50 incidents per day, including 16,401 crashes, 1,371 road and lane closures, 273 police activity events, and 146 vehicle fires. Using advanced technologies like our RECORE AI traffic management platform, along with data from Nevada Highway Patrol, Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, and other partners, FAST can verify incidents faster and support quicker response times. At its core, FAST is focused on keeping travelers informed and traffic moving safely through proactive communication and coordination and real-time traffic management. The team has handled approximately 50 calls per day, or just over 16,000 calls annually from the public, media, and partner agencies. They've sent almost 18,000 traffic alerts and posted nearly 3,000 unique traffic and safety messages on our freeways. FAST continues to expand how we connect with travelers. Since April of 2025, more than 1.2 million drivers have received traffic alerts directly in their vehicles using the RECORE and Haas technologies. FAST provides regular updates on daily commutes, special events, road construction, and holiday traffic through social media and navigation apps. Traffic alerts and services have increased year over year. This is demonstrating the traffic alerts that the team sent in 2024. The next line indicates the alerts that we have sent in 2025. FAST transitioned to 24/7 operations in October of 2025 and is now covering the overnight hours as well at the Southern Nevada Traffic Management Center. FAST safety efforts are strengthened through local, state, and federal collaboration, including Federal Highway Administration Safe Roads Initiatives, Clark County School District School Zone Safety, Law Enforcement Agencies Working Group for Fatality Reduction and Pedestrian Safety, the Safe Streets for All Regional Coordination, and cross-jurisdiction partnerships with Caltrans, Arizona Department of Transportation, Utah Department of Transportation for Emergency Preparedness. Another collaborative effort I'd like to highlight is the SMART Grant Project.
RTC was awarded funding through US DOT's Strengthening Mobility and Revolutionizing Transportation Grant Program and completed a $2 million 18-month Stage 1 project last June. That work was recognized by Smart Cities Connect with a 2026 SMART Award, honoring innovative transportation solutions worldwide. Through this grant, FAST deployed advanced intersection analytics at 20 high-crash signalized intersections using AI-based technology, which allowed us to analyze pedestrian, cyclist, and vehicle interactions, including unsafe behaviors and near misses that are not typically captured. For example, pedestrians crossing outside marked crosswalks. Insights like these help us understand why crashes happen, not just where. One operational improvement that resulted from this analysis was the deployment of leading pedestrian intervals, giving pedestrians a few seconds head start before turning vehicles receive a green signal. Additionally, transit signal priority was deployed at 16 intersections along Route 206 in the Las Vegas Medical District, many of which are located on the city's high injury network. That resulted in improved on-time performance during peak weekday hours by up to 9% without installing new field equipment or hardware on buses. Based on this success, RTC is preparing to expand this technology region-wide.
FAST, in coordination with partner agencies, continues to modernize the region's intelligent transportation systems and traffic signal infrastructure. FAST operates the traffic signals in Southern Nevada to promote seamless travel throughout the valley. The extreme Southern Nevada climate, along with regional growth, construction, aging equipment, and traffic crashes are a few of the factors that impact ITS and traffic signal detection equipment. Local agencies, in partnership with RTC, coordinate on repair and replacement of damaged equipment to improve performance and operations of the traffic and signal systems. Efforts include fiber optic cable replacement at 12 miles per year starting in 2023, roughly 3% of the network. Some of these improved segments include St. Rose Parkway in the county and in Henderson, Bonanza in Las Vegas. Traffic camera upgrades at 50 cameras replaced annually, roughly 15% of all arterial traffic cameras over the last 4 years, including along Paradise near Convention Center and several in the Boulder City intersections. And signal detection replacements at 56 intersections annually. We're now at roughly 9% of signalized intersections, including intersections along Craig Road in North Las Vegas and Clark County, Sahara Avenue in Clark County and Las Vegas, and in the city of Mesquite. Additionally, FAST sends automated daily notifications to the local agencies on signal detection equipment status to support rapid maintenance and response. In cooperation with local agencies, FAST developed an urban grid timing strategy based on the Valley's 1 mile arterial grid, which allows us to keep that balancing act of promoting east-west and north-south traffic flowing. Since 2023, 647 signalized intersections have been retimed, which represents about 37% of all the signals in Southern Nevada. These improvements have resulted in a measurable reduction in delay. Overall, 11.4% improvement in daily travel times along the major arterial roadways. RTC's next generation traffic signal modernization project represents a major shift towards regional data-driven flexible traffic signal system. This allows us to deploy new technologies such as transit signal prioritization and emergency vehicle preemption, which couldn't be integrated into our existing system. This 18-month deployment of the Valley's new traffic signal controllers and operating platform is currently underway, with completion anticipated in early 2027. This matters because enhances coordination across jurisdictions, supports scalable long-term traffic management as Southern Nevada continues to grow, and prepares Southern Nevada for future transportation technologies while improving everyday travel today. This concludes my presentation. Thank you for your time, and I'd be happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Ms. Gaither. Any comments or questions? No? Okay, thank you. Sounds like some great improvements to our system, and hopefully we are all moving quicker along our roadways as a result of it.
Thanks, Teresa. And I will add, we don't do this alone. It's with your staff. In your traffic division. This is a partnership, and we appreciate that very much. And that concludes your CEO report. The next item is to receive the Nevada Department of Transportation Director's Report by Deputy Director Mario Gomez.
Mr. Gomez.
Thank you, MJ, and good morning, Board of Commissioners. For the record, Mario Gomez, Deputy Director of Operations and Maintenance for the Nevada Department of Transportation. And so I'd like to begin by first sharing the latest traffic safety data from the Department of Public Safety. Preliminary data shows 54 people have lost their lives on Nevada roads so far in 2026 through the end of February. 36 of the fatalities occurred in Clark County, and compared to the same time last year, that represents a 24% decline statewide. Looking more closely at the data, 17 of those fatalities were pedestrian, a 19% decrease compared to last year. 7 involved unrestrained occupants, which is down by 41%. Motorcycle fatalities have increased by 15%, and deaths involving scooters, mopeds, or ATVs have doubled compared to this time last year. Speed and impairment continue to be the most significant contributors to fatal crashes in Nevada. Next, I'd like to cover one of our projects, our preservation projects on US 95. This February, NDOT began extending the life of US 95 in a high-speed rural corridor south of Boulder City. This project spans about 17 miles of US 95 from approximately 7 miles north of Nelson Road to nearly 3 miles south of the Interstate 11 junction. Work includes milling and resurfacing the road, as well as repairing damaged pavement. Additional improvements include updating striping and signage, drainage and lighting upgrades, and installing tortoise fence. Through the end of March, the right shoulder and the right lanes will be closed on both north and southbound US 95 near El Dorado Valley Drive. We anticipate project completion by late 2026, depending on the weather and scheduling. This is a $41 million project, federally funded. A 55-mile-per-hour speed reduction will be in place during this active work zone to improve the safety of both the drivers and the construction teams. Next up, I'd like to cover our Nevada Strategic Highway Safety Plan. So I'm pleased to present the newly published 2026 to 2030 Nevada Strategic Highway Safety Plan. This plan is our state's coordinated roadmap to reaching 0 fatalities. It improves the strategic backbone for our local safety efforts over the next 5 years. A major shift in this 2026 to 2030 plan is the formal integration of the safety systems approach. This focuses on building a safe system pyramid where infrastructure, policy, and vehicle technology work together to ensure that a human mistake doesn't have to be a fatal one. We have organized our work into 5 key strategic teams: safer roads, speeds, people, vehicles, and post-crash care. By 2030, we have set rigorous targets, reducing serious injuries to 866 and non-motorized fatalities and injuries to 321 as we work towards our larger goal of a 35% reduction by year 2035. Implementation starts now with us. Our strategy teams and task forces will meet regularly to track our progress through active data-driven action plan. We look forward to continuing this partnership to make, with the RTC of Southern Nevada and local public agencies to make Southern Nevada's roads safer for everyone. And so that is the conclusion of my presentation. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Gomez. Any comments or questions? Mayor?
Thank you. So do we have an overall plan for our electric vehicles that are scooters and motorcycles? Have we addressed that doubling, as it were?
As of right now, the only enforcement that we have is through regulation that's in place. Us as an agency, a DOT, we don't have the ability to enforce speeds in the sense of we post the speeds out on our roadways for safe passage of pedestrians. It makes use of roads, but we don't have the enforcement ability for policy.
So are we allowing those to be on our NDOT roads?
Correct, yes. On some roads.
Thank you.
Just a quick point, Mayor. In Las Vegas, Clark County, and I believe just recently Henderson, each of our jurisdictions have passed some form of regulations, and I think we're pretty aligned around those regulations around. Thank you. In Las Vegas, the county, and Henderson, we've passed recently regulations around the scooters and e-bikes, and so that might be something that we could send to you. It's an interesting question as to what happens on NDOT roads, though, so have to think about that one. Yeah. Councilman.
Yeah, and to the councilman's point, over north of Vegas, we're pretty much following what the rest of the valley is doing, including also the trails within the park systems. We want to make sure that we're totally in alignment with other jurisdictions.
Yep. All right. Thank you, Director. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Chairman. The next item is to approve your consent agenda, which consists of items 5 through 24 and can be taken in one motion.
I'll entertain a motion. There's a motion to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you again. The next item is to receive information from our legal counsel. As there are no items to discuss, you can move on to your final agenda item, which is to conduct your final citizens participation period.
This is the second time set aside for public comment. Anyone wishing to provide public comment with regards to any matters before the Regional Transportation Commission, please step forward to the microphone, state your name, and please limit your comments to 3 minutes. We're going to hear first from Mr. Burrows.
Hello. I have a couple of things to say. One, everything's better with the paratransit, except for I rode with the paratransit the other day, and about 5 in the morning, and the lady had an attitude, and she was not saying anything, shoving stuff around. She then took the $3 from me, and instead of putting it into the thing, she put it into her pocket and pulled out an old beat-up free pass that had gum stains on it. I don't know where she got this thing, and put that in there. I took pictures and everything like that and gave it to Terry, one of the paratransit people I talked to, and nothing happened because I saw her about 2 weeks ago. So I don't know if you guys thought it was fake or I made it up, but the fact that you guys don't care enough for the people driving us around bothers me. Second thing that I'm having an issue with, and I'm having this a lot, is when I ride on the fixed routes and I ask them to kneel the buses, they say, we can't do it, or they won't do it, or they give me an attitude. I'm sorry that I'm in a wheelchair. My wheelchair's longer than most people's wheelchairs, so when I start to go up and it's elevated, my middle wheels roll. And then I tell, can you please lower the bus? And they tell me, they either give me an attitude and do it, or they say, we can't do it. And then I have to ask somebody behind me, which has been a few times a smaller person or a female, to push me up the thing, and these drivers watch this to happen. And you guys make me do this, and it's unfair.
Please don't speak during other speakers.
And I don't know why this is not taken care of. It's very simple. It's not like they have to get out and pump something up so that the bus kneels down. Push the damn button. The bus kneels. If you don't want to make the bus kneel, open the back doors. I can go up that one just fine because it's at a different angle. But no, 30% of the time when I ride the regular fixed ride, this happens. That's how many people go, no, we can't do it, or give me an attitude. Like, I feel good that I'm disabled. Like, my life's gravy. I want to be disabled. No, I want to get on the damn bus. And this is how I get treated. And it makes me so frustrated that I can't take it. And the more I report people and the more I discuss people, the more stuff doesn't happen. And it makes me feel ridiculous, like I'm doing the stupid thing and thinking something's going to happen. And nothing happens. And everything keeps going, and everybody's ha-ha. We have drivers. Your job is not that. I know your job's difficult, but if your job is the most important thing you have to do is push a button so the bus kneels and you can't do that, get another job.
Thank you, Mr. Burrows. Next speaker, please.
Morning, Board. HU President William Lynn. I've been intentionally quiet for the last couple of months. I wanted to hear from others, riders, workers, community members, about how TransDev has devastated this service since forcing their way back into the city 4 years ago. But silence does not mean absence, and it certainly does not mean acceptance. About 30 days ago, I was called into a meeting with Laura Hendricks, Susan Sweet, Katrina Hendrick, and Hannah Calvin. In the meeting, I was explained that ATU would be requesting to begin negotiations to prevent another major underbid and to protect the city from another avoidable crisis. I also made it clear that the addition of Hannah Calvin at the value of roughly $100,000 has added no value. It's not in the RFP and has only strained an already overwhelmed management team. Their new HR leader, Justin Johnson, has no transit background, and it shows. Then Laura Hendricks said something that should concern every person in this room and every person in this city. They are not interested in doing anything until after the RFP, and that as long as they want this contract, they will have it. That statement told me everything. Either they have already bought their way back in for a second time, or they fully intend to. And this time, they plan on doing it to underbid the contract at the expense of the employees who move this city, risking service collapse while claiming they don't have any money. Let's not forget they were thrown out in the first round last time. Their bid was so low, it was unrealistic. Then they brought the company First Transit, and they actually won the contract with the highest bid. And even after all that, they still played broke. That almost caused a work stoppage. They stood before the board bragging about how great their service was, then fired the very person who was making the progress possible, Ashley Cole. Meanwhile, individuals who have failed repeatedly, who have not fixed a single systematic issue, remain in the place without accountability. From Laura Hendricks to corporate safety leader Scott Bryce, who has more focus on playing games with Arizona than ensuring the safety in Las Vegas, the priorities have been upside down since day one. Locally, the team has been encouraged to shorten training, cut corners. A game was more important than the safety of the city. More important than the riders, more important than the workers. They treat Las Vegas as their monopoly board of doom, and the public has paid the price. Every time I've dealt with the local transit team, they have been stuck in the meetings about meetings that they keep on having meetings about, deadlines and decisions, delays, everything awaits corporate, and just in time only matters when you're on his time.
Thank you, Mr. Lynn. Next speaker, please.
Hello, good evening. My name is Anthony Burrell, and I came here. I don't know if you could call it venting or not about this company, Transdev, how they treated me. Unfortunately, I'm a driver, but unfortunately, one particular morning, or like 5 in the morning when it was dark, a pedestrian came out of nowhere. It wasn't a fatality, but he came out of nowhere. I didn't see him. The cameras on the bus didn't see where it came from either. Transdev terminated me. They didn't, everything they had me do, I passed. They had me go to a therapist. He approved me to go back to work, so I was okay. The police, I got the police report. The police had the report in my favor. I didn't get a ticket. I didn't get cited out. They told me that they was gonna check my employment history with the company. I got a clean employment history. Everything that they had me do, I passed their test, but they still terminated me. I didn't get an accident review board. I didn't get nothing. They sending me straight to arbitration. So I feel like they're treating me real unfair. And unfortunately, it changed the lives of me and the pedestrian. Me emotionally, financially, and everything, and him physically, whatever. I think he broke his leg, but like I said, he came out of nowhere. Every avenue that my union tried to negotiate with them about my job, it gets blocked. You know, they did a reenactment of the scene. It happened at 5 in the morning. They did the reenactment at 2 in the afternoon. Totally different outcome of the weather. It was dark when the accident happened. It was sunlight when they did the reenactment. They're supposed to take one of my union reps with them to do the reenactment on my behalf, so we know that they did it. They didn't take no union rep with them. We don't even know. I really could say I don't know if they did a reenactment or not. I just have to go with what they say. But they're supposed to have one of my reps with them, and they didn't take them. There's a lot of things they did wrong, and not just to me, to other employees that I know. And there's other employees that I know been in the same type incident, and they got their job back immediately. I've been off almost a year now, you know, and I just feel like this company it's just wrong how they treat me. I'm still devastated right now about this situation, because like I said, I have a perfect driving record. I had no infractions on my record or none of that. So I don't know why I got targeted like that, to just be kicked out of the car like that. It's just, I don't understand it. So I just want to, I just had to come here and just let it out how I feel, because I don't know what else I could do about this situation. But I feel like it was I didn't get a fair chance about this whole situation. You know, like I say, I didn't get cited out. I didn't get no ticket. It's in the police report. The guy was jaywalking and it smelled like alcohol. I think they even gave him a jaywalker ticket and a fake name. They don't even know who he is to today. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Yeah, my name is Jose Escobar. I'm one of those drivers who also had close to a fatality accident last week. I was going eastbound on Charleston, and 31-year-old young man decided he wanted to take his life and dive in front of my bus when I was going down on Lake Mead. It was a very bad situation. Mentally, I'm still not ready to go back, and the company's already calling me that they want to retrain me to go back. I called the union. The union is taking care of it because I can't even drive a car right now. The post-accident, all the stuff that is going through my head, I have nightmares, and I have a hard time falling asleep. It's just crazy. Even through all of that, through the training that we get, I did everything that I could to get the medical assistance for the person that have done that. And Thankfully, one of the officers told me that right after we were done, that he said, thanks to your response driving the bus, he didn't lose his life. But even that he didn't lose his life, the stuff that you see when I went back to where he was, the scene was really horrific. The way he looked, he didn't look that well. But you know, I'm a man of faith, and I have my church and my wife, my family praying for the person. And apparently the person is out of intensive care now. And that makes me feel a little better. But still, I just feel like the person before me, you know, he should have had a second chance, especially the police didn't even find him at fault for what happened. As of right now, the company has told me I'm going to be okay, but they already want me to go back, and I'm not ready to go back just yet because of all the stuff that I got on my head. And, you know, I want to be responsible enough that if something like that happened again, that I can respond the right way, the safe way, and not do something that I will regret for the entirety of my life. So thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Next speaker, please.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Francesca Parker. I'm ATU 1637 union rep, as well as a bus operator operating in Simmons Yard. I had so much things to say, but 3 minutes is not long enough. I will say this: when my union president is saying that TransDev is saying that they're broke, me personally, it shows, because we have lost over 50 drivers since January. And we lost seasoned drivers, drivers who have been here 15, 20, 30 years doing this job. Now, all of a sudden, one thing happened and they lose their job. It's just unheard of to me. We got new drivers that's coming in that's not as experienced as a lot of us who's been driving more than 5 years. And I see all these changes around the city, and do you think a new driver who just learning how to drive is gonna come in and be able to ride a Boulder Highway new route that they're not familiar with effectively? I see all these rider increase in ridership. How you gonna increase in ridership when you don't even have any drivers? I just don't understand what everyone sits at their desks and look at, because we live in it daily. I'm on 113 Las Vegas Boulevard daily. We have a lot of mentally ill people here. And I do feel sorry for this man who says that we can't kneel our buses for him. We were told not to kneel our buses. We were told that in order for us to employ the ramp, we have to employ the ramp, but we can't kneel the bus. The bus is not down on the curve if we don't kneel it. So you know what I say as a person who is disabled, and I don't look disabled, I need the bus kneeled. So guess what I do? I kneel the bus. Write me up. I don't care. I feel sorry for people who is disabled because I live it daily. I have a disabled autistic son. So I care about people. I care about this community. I care about our riders on a daily basis. But we can't do our job effectively when we're dealing with a company who is terminating us every day for dumb stuff. We can't deal with a company who is using that Linux so supposed to be for our safety against us. I can't pick my nose. They looking at the camera. I can't freaking decide to swap my wig because they looking at the camera. They using it against us. I just want you to know that, MJ. And you know I've been here for going on 7 years. I am at the point that whatever they fire me for, so be it. God is in control of that. But I hate sitting there watching them terminating people for things we be reporting all the time. It's frustrating. I'm just asking you, the next company that come in here, make sure the drivers is being put first, because without us, will nobody have a job.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Morning, Noah Astor, NOA ASTOR, Before I start, I would like to congratulate MJ on her C-suite honor. That was awesome. Well deserved. When I started this career, I was proud and excited to be part of something bigger than myself, and through that make a difference, however small it might be to the community. As I speak today, I am tired, angry, and frustrated, and have this nagging feeling that I have failed in my obligations to provide for the riding public due to a company culture that is plagued with problems. There are so many shortfalls that you don't see. We talk about them constantly. We tell the company they do nothing. Management, they're curtailed by a company culture, sabotaging the very duty we all have to provide for the people that depend on the transit system to live their daily lives. I have read 526 pages of the RFP so far. Still have a ways to go. A lot of unanswered questions. What I can say is I know a hell of a lot more about First Transit than I do about TransDev, and that's who I work for. And I ponder how things might have been. The company demands commitment, work ethic, and dedication from their employees, but they're unwilling to give recognition, sufficient wages, support, or respect in return. Company culture such as it is destined to fail. This culture is the exact opposite of what this valley needs to be successful, and our riding public suffers indescribable hardships. Everyone's worried about a budget shortfall, when the damage right now that is being done to the public's trust is far worse. Shortfalls you can find ways to fill. Regaining the public's trust is far more difficult. Even at this point in time, payroll messed up. Vacation time, PTO time, missing, gone. Where is it? They don't know. It's a terrible system. The Moby they use, mine is in French. I don't speak French. Why? There is reams of paper on the walls of the yards. That's their way of communicating. Try walking in there and trying to find something. You can't. Discipline is very heavy-handed, unnecessarily, for stupid things. As you see, my two brothers that were up here before, they don't care. We as drivers care for the passengers. This is a lifestyle. This is not a job. I have so much more to say, but I can finish this by saying the drivers are the heartbeat of this city. We stop, the pulse stops. It is in everybody's best interest. The drivers, the mechanics, the fuelers and cleaners are respected, treated fairly and justly. We don't get that here. We haven't since day one. And everybody knows that reads these complaints, there's hundreds of them a day. Have a good day.
Thank you, Mr. Rafter.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Cameron Pratt. I worked for TransDev in 2023 as a facility coordinator. I have seen numerous things unsafe and been brought up, but I was told to look the other way. I disagreed. I didn't play ball. Therefore, I was terminated for taking a sticker off of a door that they put on against Fire Code 506.1. And I was terminated. Never been written up, never been spoken to, never had a problem, but I was told to look the other way. I also personally have noticed and seen myself, you see the numbers of the buses in service and everything else, but I've been on the other side where I've been on the, what we call apron, where TransDev will turn around and clear the codes just to get their numbers up. I would like to see someone that cares about the safety of our community, not just numbers. I believe RTC does a great job. I believe they do what they can and do what they're told, what they've been told, and that's all. I believe in having a third party maybe look into certain situations, safety regulations, maybe someone out there in the field to understand what the safety of the community, the safety of the drivers, even the safety of me. I've asked for personal training of certain lifts that I've been told to work on that I didn't have the experience on, but they wanted me to work on them. They promised me stuff, they never did. I asked for safety equipment, never got it. They say they have no money. but they're also out there using all the used parts off of the buses instead of putting new parts that we can count on the buses and keep those buses going. But I have seen literally where it's all about numbers, and I would like to see something where they follow through and someone, maybe RTC have someone that's trained, excuse me, trained in certain safeties and certain, RTC does a good job, but you're low as staff. I know this, I've seen it. And then when RTC does bring up something, certain management and stuff turns around and tells them, oh, they're just hard on us. I don't like them, and instead of doing their job and maybe making the bus safe for everybody. I just wanted to bring safety up to you guys. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Next speaker, please.
Morning. My name is Valerie Gamache. I spoke last month. I'd like to just reiterate what Francesca said, that 3 minutes is not enough to say what I have to say. Regarding a couple of the points I'd like to just make before I talk about mine. When I was injured and on light duty, I had to complain to my safety director multiple times because the driver would not lower the ramp for me, a driver that needed to go to light duty and could not and was injured. This was over 2 years ago. So I'd like to say I see that constantly and reiterate that gentleman's point. Not enough is being done there. Regarding fleet distribution, there is not enough fleet distribution at IBMF, where every day, if someone from RTC just, go over there, be transparent, send people quietly there to watch. There aren't enough buses. The drivers are sitting in the yard, and most of them that are signed up for overtime don't go out either. There's not enough buses on the routes. Dennis made a point about transparency. That's the point I want to bring up. I was fired. I'm one of those seasoned drivers. I'm from New York. I came up with paratransit, school bus, as well as tractor trailer over the road by myself for some of our partners like NFL and CBS Sports. I'm a very seasoned driver. I was terminated without due process because of an incident. I came last month to talk about it. I went to a meeting, my second meeting on Tuesday. All the incident reports that I had been putting in since the beginning of this bid about the lack of security on the 203 that goes by this sphere, none of that was looked at before my second meeting. Nobody looked at the fact that SDM, who was removed from being my SDM at Keolis because of his inappropriate contact, lost one of my incident reports, and that's, I guess, why they fired me, because they thought I didn't report an incident. I was not given due process, and I'm still fighting for my job. I took this job to take care of my 91-year-old Korea veteran father who is at the end of his life, and he's lived here since the 80s, and I moved here from the East Coast to take care of him, and now we are in dire straits because of this undue process. I'm very upset about, I'm glad the security company is saying they looked at this route and are dealing with it now, but I couldn't figure out for the life of me why every time I came to work and I called BOC and said, am I going to have security on this route because of all the problems with the kids after school? Again, the 7-Eleven on Twain in Maryland and the Taco Bell closed for 2 hours because the amount of incidences. We are in danger. It's too late. I asked every single day for them to come out and help me on my route. They never did. Why? Because they want those reports to show those numbers that are not accurate. We need transparency. You guys have to show up and start looking at what's being done out here by TransDev as well as the security team, because they are not coming and supporting us, and all the money that's being spent, none of it's going to support the drivers.
Next speaker.
Good morning. My name is Carolyn Higgins. I'm a driver, like Dennis. Right now, I am working as a financial secretary for ATU Local 1637. I wanted to complete our president's statement to you and it is as following. In closing, I will begin reaching out to each of you, together or individually. There is so much you are shielded from. You are being told everything is great, while the reality on the ground is the opposite. And let's set the record straight. TransDev takes full credit for the paratransit transition, but they never would have completed it without the collaboration team that I, President Lynn, representing ATU, and Ashley Cold, representing TransDev, built. The Wire team. They worked 16 to 17 hours a day and 7 days a week to make that transition possible. Not one bit of recognition for the people who actually did the work. This city deserves honesty. These workers deserve respect. And this board deserves the full truth, not the filtered version TransDev chooses to present. And that is his statement from the earlier statement. And all of our drivers are back here, and they're here for a reason. I don't come up too often anymore, but I'm not seeing the board or, well, board, you're listening. I'd see that. But I'm not seeing the company really taking that step forward for our drivers, for our mechanics, for our fuelers. We all represent these folks out there, and we're everyday people trying to feed our family. So please, sit down with the next company that comes through here and explain to them that we run this city. We move them. We don't just sit still. It's unfortunate about this gentleman with the wheelchair, but it is a fact. It is being told. Don't kneel the bus. The bus kneels on its own. You break the bus. Here you stop your route for about 30 minutes trying to get that bus moving. But that's all I have to say. Thank you, and
Thank you very much.
MJ.
Good morning. Katrina Heineking. I'm Regional VP for TransDev. You know, as we've said before, I think it's worth saying again, we remain really committed to transparent and continuous improvement, but it's all about communicating, and, you know, and I think we have to do it early and often and with each other, not just, you know, monthly at a board meeting. We have a really robust feedback process, and that's how we can continue to improve and listen to the information obtained. We encourage participation of our labor partners. We offer weekly meetings, even if they're, you know, if they choose not to attend, monthly labor management meetings. We have incident input forms, all kinds of ways to written, you know, communication. We have a rider app as a way for, an employee app for the employees to communicate. And I would submit a very open door policy for anybody that wants to, you know, talk in person. We track a significant amount of data, as does the RTC, and we use that to continually evaluate our processes. And that said, admittedly, there are times when issues arise that we can't easily identify, that's what we crave the feedback. We welcome the feedback of our labor partners and employees. And I think these types of feedback give us the opportunity for improvement. I'd follow up on the comment made about the BOC response times and asking for it by shift. I'm really happy to report that TransDev actually did do a recent analysis by shift to see if the demand matched the manpower. And we did do a schedule change. It actually just took effect March 1st. And I just looked up a quick example. So last week we had almost 2,000 calls, like 1,911 radio calls. The regular response time, the regular request to talk response time was 3 minutes and 57 seconds, and the priority request was 41 seconds, which is well below our established goal. So, I think there's always opportunity improvement, but we're definitely headed in the right direction. On that same vein of making sure we're as efficient as possible, I think we should offer some refresher training to make sure that we've done our part to make sure that the operators know how to effectively communicate, whether it be through text or the radio push to talk or priority request, or even using the nano button in emergencies. And we are always open to, reiterating the proper, all the different ways to communicate. And finally, may I finish?
Wrap up, please.
I would just say regarding the fleet distribution, there is a plan in place. It's already in process where the fleets will be equally distributed by age of fleet. So that's underway as well. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for allowing us to speak. My name is Cyrus Hojadi. I am the team leader of the local chapter organization, Strong Towns Las Vegas. We have chapters all over the world, actually. The first thing I'd like to talk about, even though it's not ideal, we're pretty excited about the Boulder Highway transformation despite criticism. We believe this is a step forward for bus rapid transit. Buses, obviously, as you know, with a dedicated lane will carry larger volumes of people. People complain about traffic, but yet they have hardly any solutions to address them. Speaking of buses, I took this photo. This is in front of my house. This is on Valley View and Flamingo. I'm seeing like 20, 30 people in this bus terminal. This is not acceptable. This means that our bus frequency is low. Something has to be done. We need to be, of course, helping in solidarity with our workers too, but our frequency is about 15 minutes. This tells me that we could have frequency as probably 5 minutes. Okay. If I want to visit the tourist areas, I prefer using a bus. The hassle of having to park and everything, getting in and out of the garage, this is a convenience. This whole idea that everybody wants to drive, nobody wants to use other forms of getting around here is a myth. This is proving otherwise. And when you increase frequency, you bring more ridership, less congestion, less pollution, and so forth. The other thing I wanted to talk about is, correct me if I'm wrong, Deer Springs Way, somewhere in the Northwest Valley, is having a roundabout. That's music to my ears. I'm very excited to see this. Please build more. Please plan more of them, especially on the outskirts of the valley. I believe the traffic lights usually are very inefficient. They need more lanes. They're more dangerous. Sometimes they're just basically they're drunk late at night. There's no cars coming the other direction. I'm sitting there waiting for ghosts. It's beneficial to beautification and so forth. Studies have shown they've reduced fatal accidents. The list goes on. So please plan them in the future. And also, speaking of these types of intersections, we believe traffic lights are creating these inefficient arterial roads. 6 lanes, 8 lanes, 45 miles an hour. I can give you examples: Blue Diamond, Rainbow, Craig. So stop building these inefficient arterial roads. We call them stroads that mix highways and streets into one, because we're hopefully wanting to see that the outskirt development can distinguish between a highway and definitely a street. And here's again another example. So the top one is what we don't want. The bottom one, which is kind of what Boulder Highway is trying to do, is what we in favor of. Thank you
Mr.
so much.
Ojadi. Next speaker, please.
Hello, Sophia Major. This is only my second time here at the RTC meetings. But I saw the young lady get up. I think her name is Katrina. I'm an ATU shop steward. But the problem is, we don't know who these people are. If you come to IBMF, I'm a shop steward. If I don't know who you are, What makes you think these drivers know who you are? Not one conversation. MV, at least we had an open door policy. Problem we got now, every door is closed. With the exception of Adrian, who's the safety. Other than that, we don't know who these people are. We got every old bus that y'all put out. Doom, 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 doom. And then you wonder why we go to Concentric, because our backs are messed up. You call BOC. It took them 45 minutes to get back for me to complain that I had a bus that jerked. Why? I know they're not that busy. Nobody cares. So for her to get up here and say they're making an improvement, the improvement has not been shown. I'm at work every single day. Unfortunately, I wish I wasn't because of this company. I'm too old to go find something else. So either they're gonna go or they're gonna continue to wonder why call-offs are at the rate they are because of this company. That's all I got.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Hi, my name is Tamisha Williams. I am a driver at IBMF. Our issue is Sunset has all the newer buses. IBMF has the old buses, like Sophia just said. A lot of us are calling off because we have back issues, torn arms, all kind of injuries because we are having raggedy buses. Then when this company came in, IBMF had their runs, Sunset had their runs. They have now mingled our runs. We have to fight at IBMF, and we should not have to get morning runs when all our morning runs have been shifted to Sunset. That's not fair to us. We should have our same routes, our same runs, our same time frames. We don't have that. We may have 6 morning runs and a whole bunch of evening runs. So everybody has to shift their life who lives on the north side and go all the way over to the south side. It should not happen. It should not even be an issue. I should not have to be able to go to Sunset Yard when I live on the north side and my kids go to school on the north side. And I have to try to fix my schedule to abide by my kids' school schedule. It's not fair to me. It's not fair to all of us who's been at IBMF. It's just not fair. We want our buses back, our brand new buses that we had that went to Sunsets. We want our buses back. We want our lives back. This company, absolutely no. Absolutely no. When she came up and said that the time for them to respond back is 3 minutes, 5 minutes, that is an absolute lie. I have called them plenty of times, and it takes me to go up a run, back down a run before they respond. If I had somebody on the bus harassing me, am I gonna get that help? Absolutely not. I gotta sit there and argue with a man, when I shouldn't have to argue with a man because I'm hitting the button for y'all to respond back, and y'all don't respond back for 30 minutes. Luckily, I have friends that are security guards, and if I need to get off the bus and hit them up and say I need somebody to come, they'll send somebody. I shouldn't have to do that. It should be a response right then and there. If I put that I need an emergency, help me with my emergency. Don't let me sit there 30, 40 minutes. I'm driving up and down Las Vegas Boulevard, and you don't answer until I get hurt or somebody else gets hurt. That's not cool. It's not right. They got to work with us, not against us, and they are not working with us. When we got 50 drivers that got fired, so now I got to come in and work 2 days out of my free day of overtime. For what? Or I'm getting mandated to work overtime. For what when you don't have enough drivers? We need more drivers. Stop firing our senior drivers. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good morning. I'm Stephanie Davis, the recording secretary for ATU. I'm also an operator. The gentleman came up here and spoke about concerns. We tired of the fake numbers that's going up, that's filtered, and y'all seeing we following a policy that Transdev put up for operators to follow, and it affects our passengers when it comes to things like the wheelchair ramp and stuff like that. But you guys don't believe the drivers? Look at your social media, not the RTC page where you get the filtered happy riders. Go to your Facebook pages, your Instagrams, your TikToks. Look at how your public feel about us. They hate the drivers, and we the ones got to take that. They get on the bus and they looking at us like we hate this, the worst public transportation in the United States. And we out there, we gotta deal with that, and we thinking we're the best drivers. They hate us. They hate us. They come on there, verbally abuse us, physically abuse us. Y'all saying that the response time for BOC 3 minutes, that's not true. They might answer, but they're not getting nobody out there to you in 3 minutes. That's the big difference. So look at the real public comments and see what they're saying about us. It's garbage. This company is garbage.
Thank you. Next speaker, please. You'll be our last speaker. Okay. If anybody else wants private public comment, then please line up. No, you can speak, ma'am. If anybody else wants to speak, we got 2 microphones here, so line up if you want to speak. Otherwise, you'll be the last 2 speakers.
Hello, my name is Monica Anderson, ATU shop steward, and along the lines what Sophia was saying, I have no idea who Katrina is. The only reason why I know her name is due to a memo that was posted. TransDev wants transparency. We as drivers are transparent. Nothing gets changed. Honestly, I've been coming to these meetings, hearing my fellow coworkers, shop stewards, everybody telling you what the issues are, and nothing changes. For instance, this whole thing with the construction. Great, love it. We do need our streets revamped. However, you guys are also in control of the paddles. Why are we getting dinged for on-time performance when Charleston has a gang of construction on it? That's not my issue. I'm out here driving these buses, which again, as a Simmons driver, where's the equality in buses? Yes, you may see 22s, 23s, 24s, 25s coming out of our yard, but they're also the broke down raggedy ones that Sunset gave to us. It's unfair, and I've been at Simmons for 5 years. At this point, bring back MV, because TransDev ain't it. Yes, they do have some leadership who is doing the best that they can, but at the end of the day, the corporate office runs the local office. Corporate has no idea what they're doing. They're running this as if it's paratransit, and it's not. We are fixed route. We have almost 40 routes. You guys all know the statistics. My coworkers have told you the numbers are skewed. They're showing you what you want to see versus what you actually need to see, and you need to listen to us. We're telling you the truth. We have no reason to come up here and lie. So please do better.
Thank you. Mr. Hennessy. If there's anyone else who would provide public comment, please line up now.
I'm Dennis Hennessy. I'm just a driver. Wow, I don't even know where to begin. I sit here and listen to the people talking to you, understand that, you know what, the bottom line is you guys are the ones held accountable because you're going to get the votes. MJ and her group, they're not going to get votes. They've got their job. You're not. You've got to report to a constituency. I talked about transparency. I'm going to use an analogy. You ever heard the term, they've lost a locker room? If you're a New York Jet fan, I apologize, but the New York Jets lost a locker room decades ago. This company has lost a locker room. Mr. Sigerbloom, you and Mr. Jones stated to Kevin, I don't know if even one of you remember making the statement, when Kevin, the very first GM that came up here, Mr. Sigerbloom, you said, you better fix it, you don't have time. And you never hear from you guys during this time period. Well, we're through many GMs, okay? What we have here is a company that's lost a locker room. I hope that you guys take into consideration in this RFP that whoever comes in here, personally, I feel there's one company that can meet this challenge, but it's going to take it's going to take a minimum of 2 years for the next company to get the culture back, because the culture has been ruined by this company through their hiring, through their training, and through their management. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to speak from experience about BOC. I waited on the road 3 weeks ago last Tuesday with a bus at the instructions of BOC for 4.5 hours. Completely forgot about it. Went to the GM that day. Every day I saw that GM, Eric Wright, I reminded him, What's going on? What's going on? Saw him Friday because I was doing the Golden Knights game. Looked at him and said, boy, I hope I hear from somebody by Thursday. I'd hate for that to be a topic at the RTC meeting. Guess what? Tuesday morning, the head of BOC comes in. Now guess what dilemma I'm in? The two of them, I don't know which one's lying, but now they're going out after each other. They're going out after each other. I get a phone call from a driver that was out on the road for 6 hours yesterday, talking to BOC 3 times. 6 hours. This is a group of people that likes to bring consultants in. The consultants never go out into the field. You got a regional manager that doesn't come out and talk to us. You got a group of people who don't know what's going on. Nothing's going to get fixed.
Thank you, Mr. Hennessy. Go ahead and close the second public comment period, and we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.